bag skate at the end there. Was just kind of getting the message across, or
yeah, a little bit of grab their attention, and I know we skipped out of the game luckily on top, but and that's great on them that they were able to do that. But if we go back 2 games, we really weren't happy with our performance in 2 games, and that's just not professional enough for me. So you have to do it every day, and sometimes that's the way the game is played, up and down the ice or over and back. So it just sets home that it's really unacceptable, really for the standard that we want to have for work ethic. So we worked in practice today.
Did you have to reconcile the good of coming back from a 4-goal deficit versus, hey, that start is unacceptable?
Yeah, no, I thought we in video today before practice we showed where we were not great at all, and part of it was mentally, and some of it was physically, and I think both. That's a disaster. And I said, I thought they, not take anything away from San Jose, I thought they worked hard and they deserved to have a 4-0 lead, and we got some breaks and we made some good plays in the second half, and we showed a few areas where it looked like that tide turned in the second period. We started to play a little faster and a little bit more urgent, and then guys came to life. But I said that's not going to happen every night, and it didn't happen the game before. So that's a good lesson to take from those 2 games.
I was talking to Nordy, and he just about reflecting on his season, and he said he wasn't happy about how he's let the bad games for himself linger. What have you seen from him, and maybe how much of a transition was it for him last year where he was kind of a staple on the back end?
Yeah, I think, obviously coming in new at the beginning of the year, he just played, and he played hard, and him and Murph kind of had something going where they did a great job together, and did a lot of hard work in the D zone type of face-off scenarios, penalty killing, and obviously a great teammate, Tinner, sticking up for teammates, blocking shots, playing hurt, like doing a lot of things. This year it just seemed like I think he's trying to find that way back to that, and trying a little too hard. So sometimes that means holding on to the puck a little too long, or looking for the perfect play where, especially big defensive defensemen, like time and space closes in on you quickly, and because your stick is so long, and your body's long and everything, like you're basically presenting the puck to the other team a lot earlier than some of the smaller guys. So I think I think sometimes he's gotten himself in trouble where he's looking for the perfect play, and then someone will get a stick on it, and now he's playing more defense and scrambling. So Kevin's really good at working with him and showing him that just keeping things simple, keeping it on his forehand and out of trouble. So unfortunately that's just where he is at this point of the season, and he's not alone. There's a lot of players in that situation on our team. So I think what we need to do is just simplify, and that goes through Tinner and to everybody else, and usually the game is played a lot easier that way.
Blackhawks have been bottom of the league in defensive scoring this season, scoring by defensemen, how you want to put it. But it seems like this month you've had an uptick in production. What has been the catalyst for that, and how can you carry that over into next season?
I don't know, and I think part of it is individual more than like what we're doing as a team. I think Vlasic's had a lot of great looks this year and chances, and just hasn't gone in for him that often. And same as Kevin, I think he's starting to show that shooting the puck a little bit more lately is starting to show on the score sheet. And Seth is, to me, he's played really well and really hard, and he's simplified his game. Instead of running up and down the ice, I've talked about like every shift. I've talked about that in the past, and I think the second half of last year he really took to that, and his game rose, and I think it's doing that again this year. So some of it is, I think, just the individual players figuring out what they need to do, and that'll work for them, but also in our team system. I think the team system lets our defense be involved in the offense quite a bit, whether it be on the backside on the breakouts so they can get in the rush, or in the O-zone. We promote them to move, and it's up to the forwards to make strong plays up top to allow them to do that. And I think even Seth and Vlasic have had some really good opportunities going in on the ozone plays where they go down the wall and cut to the net, and it had some chances. It just hasn't gone in that many times for them. But you know, I think it's a great you know, thing for us to see maybe in this last month that it is starting to show, and we want to promote our D to shoot the puck and be involved in the offense. So if they can continue what they're doing, then that's going to be great. We need to grow off of that.
Reichel had that play where he back checked and stole in the neutral zone and circled all the way around, and that kind of exemplified how well he's been skating.
Mm-hmm.
It just, is there something you can do to get more into the middle of the zone instead of being kind of more in the perimeter?
Yeah, and I thought he had an excellent second half of the game in San Jose, and one of the more noticeable guys. And then in the, I think it was the third period, he had another kind of a steal in the offensive zone, made a play to the point, and then cut across through and he had that one timer where he kind of missed. It was a tough angle to shoot that puck from, but I loved how he turned and opened up and showed his stick like, I want it and I want to shoot it, and that's getting through into the middle of the scoring area. So we definitely want to promote that more. Like, he needs to do that more. And the 2-on-1 he had in the second, I think, with Connor, drove the net well. But I'd like to see him put the brakes on at the last second and push off and get your stick down. If there was any second play from Connor or a rebound off the goalie, then he's there. I'd like to see him trying to not just be one and done. You know, shoot, reload, and get open somewhere else for a second chance, and be a threat. Because sometimes when someone gets a shot threat and the puck goes away, everybody's eyes go away, and you get lost. You're the guy that's going to be the most dangerous if we get the puck back. So it's just reloading to an area where you can score from. So just him not learning that, because I think they all know that. I think when they're playing the game, their eyes follow the puck too, and then they take themselves out of it. So just being alert and aware where you're at, and trying to create yourself not just one chance but two or three.
Now that he's been up for a number of games, what have your thoughts been on Kaiser since his recall?
Good. I thought the first game, obviously a tough one against for our whole team to play against an LA big heavy team that skates well. But I thought as he got into the second half of the game, he started to move his feet and skate better, and I think he's been good. I think he's been really good. We saw some really hard box outs, so there's some more confidence in the strength and the size at this level, and using his skating ability, not too much where he's out of position and getting into trouble, so his game looks way more under control. I think he was just trying a little bit too hard, kind of like what we were talking about Tenori. Maybe just trying a little bit too hard, and that takes you out of what you do well. And I think he's worked on his game at a lower level, that he can just continue to play at his level and execute, and I think he's more comfortable with it now. So I've been happy with him since he's been back up, and we'll still continue to try and just help be aware of a few little areas and be ready to go. We got some tough matchups coming up, and that'll be a good test for him.
I know the players are saying you let them have it a little bit after the first period. As a coach, how do you balance, like, when you pick those spots to share those frustrations? Because if you do it too many times, then it loses its meaning. You're very calm and you don't do that a ton. So how did you know this is a?
I didn't wait till after the first
Okay.
I waited for a timeout, and I called them in close because I didn't want to waste the timeout that early in the game, and I don't like doing that. And it just got to the point where, and it didn't get much better right away. But I think it might take time to sit and settle in. But I don't know. I didn't really want to wait till the end of the first, because then it could trickle and get worse. And you're right. I don't think you can do that too often. I think it just falls on deaf ears after a while. And I think what you need to do is make them realize that this is up to them to be ready, and we need to be ready and give them a good game plan that they can succeed at, which we think it is. And if we're always up for discussion with them about certain parts of our systems and what we do, and questions on gray areas and how to fix them, and maybe even a little change. It's them playing the game. They're the ones that see it on the ice. It's even different. We're so close on the bench, but they're even closer on the ice. It's a different view. So we take that into consideration. But when we feel like we've done our job and prepared them, and we're doing the exact opposite of what our pregame message was and our video of the other team was, and they're doing the exact same thing that they're doing, that's just it's unprofessional and it's unacceptable. So you just I let them know that in the best way fashion of urgency that I thought was needed at the time, and then I tried to back off and say not too much at all. Even sometimes it's hard. I want to kind of talk through a shift so other people can see what's going on the ice and get the message, but I just try to back off and let the assistants talk and do some stuff for the rest of the period, and then I didn't go in between periods. I didn't feel like, why would I double up on the message and then sound contradictory or repetitive, one of the two. So I just stayed out of there and let hopefully the veterans take that message and figure it out. And it took a little while. The start wasn't great. It was still shaky. But I thought in the middle of the period when Donato scored that goal, it started in our zone and we started to play faster. And I think once we got that goal, our bench really lit up. And we had a really good second goal from Tyler on a forecheck, and that was just from our urgency of play, of getting out of our zone quick and getting in on the offensive forecheck and making the other team turn the puck over. And I thought it was just they just started to believe, and I went in after the second period and just said that they worked hard, they put themselves in a position. I said, we don't need to win this game in 5 minutes. We have 20 minutes, 20 plus minutes really. And that's what we did. And I don't think we were very risky. I thought we were very determined. And we had some really good scoring chances and created, I know we scored on a delayed penalty, but and a 6-on-5, which was great. But I thought they earned all those situations. So even the face-off, we showed the face-off in overtime, how hard Kershey was digging, and Connor came in really hard and worked, and the two of them won that face-off back to Seth. And then I thought we played it really smart. We never gave him the puck back. And then Connor drove through the middle on the entry, and it took two guys with him because he draws attention, and that opened up a huge space gap between Seth coming down the middle and whoever was supposed to cover him, and he made a great shot. So I thought it was textbook in overtime. And obviously Peter probably didn't love the team's first half of the game, but I thought I think it was like 13 minutes left in the third period, he made a huge save coming out of the corner with his glove in his arm. One of the only point blank chances I thought we gave up in the third, and he kept it 4-3 that gave us that opportunity. So I thought it was a full team effort the second half of the game. Full team effort first half of the game to get into that trouble, and a full team effort to get out of it. So at least they all did it together.
Navigating that situation, knowing to kind of bring them out at the commercial break, not go into the first, go in at the second. Did you know that coming in at the start of last year, or is that something you feel like you've maybe learned how to navigate better as the 2 years have gone on?
Well, in my 2 years here, we've been in so many situations at the end of the game where we're one goal differential. Like we've been in a lot of 6-on-5 situations, which we scored the other night, and we've been in even a lot of tight games over the course of 2 years that we're in a 5-on-6 situation. You need that timeout. You need it, especially when you're leaning on guys back-to-back shifts at the end of games. So it really is a disaster if you have to use it early to wake them up, and then you don't have it when you work hard to be in a one-goal game at the end. It could cost you. So I don't know if I necessarily learned that. I just realized that it's going to be more common than not to need that. So it sounds simple. You're like, oh, it doesn't matter. Why take it now? But you utilize those 3 TV timeouts. It's hard because there's lots of music and lots of going on. But I think if you're organized and you use it properly, I think it gives you another opportunity to speak to your team without using that timeout.
It seems like back in the day that maybe that verbal approach was used more frequently by coaches at this level, even all the way down to minor hockey.
Mm-hmm.
How have you seen are players different, or were they always the same and just with misuse?
I think society's different. It's just the way the world is now, and that's just there's more knowledge on how to treat and communicate with people. So I think you got to realize you got 20 different personalities on the bench. Sometimes one sentence is going to mean 20 different things to 20 different people. So you have to. I was pretty clear, I think, and they all got the same message on that one. But I think you have to make sure that you what you say, you got to be careful what you say, because it could be taken in a different, meaning or context to 20 different people. So when you're trying to get 20 people to connect, especially 5 of them on the ice at the same time, you got to be really clear.
When you have these kind of letdown periods or letdown games, do you get a sense from either your veterans or your assistants about what is causing it? Like, is it mental fatigue, senioritis? Like, what is it?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good one. But I kind of feed off some of the veterans talking on the bench. And you can tell when they're, trying to lift the team up, and maybe I step back and let them do it. They kind of hear me say something, and then I can tell they're feeding off of what I said. Same as the assistants are great. They kind of know at that moment, they just kind of step back. But then after that, they let it settle, and they know that I can't really say much more after that. So they got to step forward. So they've all played, and they understand that. And we talk about it lots of times. So I count on both, different services. And you never know when that's going to be. Sorry, got my today. It's following me. It's a 21-day cough, I guess.
Yeah. But I mean, do you know why the players kind of fall into that trap?
No, I don't know why. That I just I lean on the other guys to help get out of it. Or sometimes maybe I have to step up and say something. But I think in 82 games for 32 teams, it happens to everybody. The good teams don't let it happen as often at all. Like, you have driven guys that drive it all the time, and they're going to carry people with them. It's not my night. No, too bad. You're coming. And, that's what we want here. We want that culture here. And, we have guys like that, and we need more of them.
We all silly like the mayor.